Hi everyone, I'm Andre. Welcome to Bringing Brookfield Zoo to you. Today, we are going to visit an animal that spends a lot of time in water, the otter. Our animal care team is going to help us understand a little bit about otters and their watery lifestyle. Let's take a look.
Good morning. My name's Craig. I'm an animal care specialist here at Wild Encounters. With me today are Paul, Maggie, and Nicolette, who will come up on screen in a few moments. But today we're doing a typical training session and play session for our North American river otter, Pascal. So I'm sure if you guys have been following us, you all know who Pascal is. Hopefully you participated in the naming contest. Starting off, Pascal is deciding to explore. He comes out here almost every day as long as this space is available to us. This is where we typically do our feeding sessions now, our training with him, and we let him play out here. He's got a pool set up so we can help him learn how to swim. So right now we're doing some A to B's with him. So Paul just called him over to the station, reinforced that behavior, and then he's going to send him off to Maggie.
Good.
Pascal's still learning how to do this, and he's easily distracted. We do have keepers on either end, keepers that he's very comfortable with and that he enjoys spending time with, so he gets all excited when he hears Maggie say, Pascal, and he comes running over. So we also just did a crate behavior. He's learning how to voluntarily crate. So she'll call him out to the station. He gets reinforced for that. He's eating fish today. Well, he gets fish every day, but he's eating fish now, and then she calls him into the crate. Because he's going to be, at times, needed transport. If he were an ambassador animal, he would be going to events. He's not going to be one of those. But anytime that we can get him to go into a crate, either just to have him sit there so that they can clean an exhibit, or if he has to go to the vet hospital to get a checkup, having him go into the crate on his own, where he's very comfortable going in there. It's not a stressful situation. Anything that we can do to make this a positive experience for him, that's what we're going to do. So now we're also getting him to, again, it's just like an A to B or a station training, but getting him to go up on his scale so that we can get voluntary weights for him as well. So while he is a handleable animal at this size, doing these types of behaviors where we let him do this all on his own, we don't have to pick him up or handle him or move him over, makes it easier on us, especially with an animal that, typically these aren't animals that you work really closely with. That just makes it easier for us to do all these things. And so now you're seeing Nicolette doing target training. And target training is a good basic starting behavior that we can teach pretty much any animal. And target training is great because it teaches the animal the basics of training, like what's a bridge and what's reinforcement high buddy. But we can also use the target training as a precursor or a lead into other behaviors. So right now you saw that the A to B's are going pretty well, but we could use the target to help train the A to B's. We can also use the target to help train him going into the crate. And Pascal likes to go to the bathroom in the same spot typically, so that's his potty rug. So what you're seeing now, again, like I said, target training. So the behavior is going to be that he needs to touch his nose to the target. And when he does that, Nicolette is going to bridge, which is, in this case, it's just good. But it could be anything like a clicking noise or a whistle, kind of like with clicker training on a dog. Anything that we've associated a sound with the food or the reinforcement that he's getting. So when she says good, he knows that he did it right, and he's going to get food for it. Here he comes. Hey, buddy. He's also very good at following the keepers, and he can get running pretty fast. But right now, we are going to do a swim session with him, if he wants to go up there. And so, of course, everything that we do with him, all the training, that's all choice-based training. So if he decided he didn't want to do any of that, we don't force him to do it. We just let him kind of, as long as he's being a good boy, kind of do what he wants, and we'll try and maybe ask him a couple more times to do some of these behaviors. And if he chooses not to do that, that's okay too. So even though we're using the fish, that's kind of his primary diet, as we're using that as his reinforcement, he won't get that right away if he doesn't do the behavior, but we'll give it to him a little bit later, so that way he doesn't associate those two events. So again, we also, as he's living with us, we also had to help him and teach him how to swim a little bit. We didn't have to do a lot with that, but when it started out, we were putting him in a little tub, and the keepers would just kind of have their hand in the water to support him as he got used to being in the water, as he got used to just how the feel and movement around. But it didn't take him long to just learn how to do it on his own. He's a pretty smart guy. He's also very playful, so we do have a lot of pool toys in here for him. So he'll swim around and collect things and carry them in his mouth, throw them, splash. Like, he really enjoys his time in the water.
Do you take the bones out of the fish before you give it to him?
When we first introduced him to fish, we did. So depending on which type of fish it was, but we would at least remove heads and tails and the spine. So right now he's getting silver sides, he gets herring, and he gets capelin. There we go. And depending on the size of the fish and what type of fish, we will. So with the herring, we do remove the backbone, but the other two fish he can eat. He eats the capelin, just not the head and the tail, and then the silver sides, he eats the whole thing. We just cut it into pieces for him. And he still gets a couple bottles each day too, because we're still weaning him off of the formula. But he's down to just a couple bottles a day, and then at each feed he gets a nice healthy portion of various fish. And he enjoys it very much.
He's zooming around so much I had to back out because I was getting dizzy.
Yeah, he's very fast.
A wider shot.
And he's just watching him learn and grow every day. He seems to be doing something new. So it's a very rewarding and good learning experience for us as well. Just seeing how much he progresses each day. Especially with some of the stuff that we didn't even have to help as much. He just kind of figured it out on his own.
Oh, someone wants to know, who is cuter, a red panda or an otter?
That's a great question, because red pandas are very cute. I think it's a bit of a personal preference, but it's also an individual thing too. So Pascal is awesome. I think he's adorable. But our red panda at Wild Encounters, Leo, I've worked with him for quite a while now, and he's the cutest little dude ever. So it's hard to say. I'd like to, if only these two could be friends, and they could hang out together, and we could put a Quilbert and with them as well, and the sloth Timo. We'd have a really cool squad of cute animals to steal the hearts of the world. Look at him go. So right now he's actually drying himself off. So when he gets out of the water, we're providing towels for him, but he's going to dry himself off. And you can see how quickly his fur dries, which is one of the neat things about otters. It dries really quickly, but it also helps him swim really well. He's pretty aqua dynamic, and now he's climbing up Lynette. So I'm just going to maybe redirect him a little bit. Come on, buddy. Go play. Oh, here we go. Yes.
Sorry,
I haven't seen you all morning. So he's getting into a little bit of a playful mood now, and again, we do encourage the play too, but we try and redirect some of that playful energy to his toys, so that he's not like nipping at people and kind of associating like our hands and fingers with something that he can wrestle with. So he does have like stuffed animals that we'll give him.
So what's it been like for you to work with any animal you've never worked with before?
Yeah, it's been a great experience. Every single keeper here, even the ones in our area that don't specifically work with him, but have had a chance to see him and interact with him, have had such an amazing time with him. Again, the learning experience itself, like we have had experience hand raising and bottle feeding with certain other animals, but most of us haven't done an otter yet, or let alone even worked with an otter, because we don't have one in our area. But just learning all about this guy, learning about the process, watching him grow, watching him, get smarter and learn new skills, getting to train him. It's all been a rewarding experience. And the cool thing is, a lot of the training behaviors that we are doing with him now, that's stuff that we've been doing and can do with other animals too. So on that end, it's been, fun to see him pick those behaviors up real quickly, just like some of our other animals. And that made it easy too, because we can still train him to do the same stuff that we train with the other animals. But again, just getting to work with something new like this, the learning experience alone was great, but you know, just watching him grow up, working with an animal that people don't get to see as often in the wild. So we get to talk about him too, and kind of talk about the conservation message with the North American river otter. And people can see him and care about him and want to do more to protect his species. It's just, again, just a great experience. Good boy. Yes. He's still trying to dry off a little bit more.
On you.
All right. Well, again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching us as we, get to spend so much great time with this little guy. He's
a wiggle worm.
He's wiggly right now. Thank you for supporting the zoo, as always, and we hope to see you again very soon. Thank you.
As we see, water is pretty important to otters. How about you? What are some of the ways you use water? Let's check in with Jenny and explore more about water.
Hello Play Zoo friends, my name is Jenny. Thanks for joining us for the Hamill Family Play Zoo video series, bringing the Play Zoo to you. Spring in Illinois can be rainy, but we can still have fun outside. Today, we'll enjoy the rain by making a rain painting. Let's go! Here in Illinois, winters can be very snowy. Now that spring is here, you will probably see more rain than snow. Sometimes there is a lot of rain in the spring. Rain is a very important part of nature. Rain that falls on the ground helps the plants to grow. Flowers, trees, bushes, grass, all plants need water to grow. Even the vegetables we grow on gardens and on farms need rain. When rain falls in streams, rivers, ponds, and lakes, it fills them up. The fish and the turtles and the birds that live in or near the water need rain just like plants do. Sometimes on rainy days, we feel stuck inside, but it can be fun to play outside in the rain. One fun and creative rainy day activity is rain painting. To make a rain painting, all we need is a cookie sheet or a tray, food coloring, and paper. Heavy paper like watercolor paper works best, but any paper will do. If you don't have a tray or a cookie sheet at home, try making one out of tinfoil. Let's put our paper on the cookie sheet and add our food coloring. We can add little drops or big drops. We can add lots of colors or just a few. Use your creativity to design your own painting. When we're done, we can take our painting outside. Wow, this rain is amazing. It changes the way the air smells. It makes sounds when it hits the ground and the buildings. And it makes the ground all wet and muddy and full of puddles. I feel inspired. I wonder what will happen to our painting when the rain falls on it. Let's watch. Wow, I can see my painting starting to change already. The colors are starting to spread and blur. Some of them are starting to mix together. I wonder what will happen to my painting if I leave it out in the rain even longer. I'm going to go play in the puddles while I wait. When we're ready to come inside, we can carry our painting in on the tray and let it dry. Once it's dry, we can see how the rain transformed our drops into a beautiful, watery painting. I wonder if we can make a rain painting indoors. Let's try it. That was fun. Each rain painting is different. It's amazing how rain can transform our paintings into unique works of art. We hope you keep playing and creating in the spring rain. See you next time.
Water appears to be important for many reasons. Why is water important to you? We hope that you'll share that with us on your next visit, and we'll see you soon on bringing Brookfield Zoo to you.